Why do your headlights and infotainment screens suddenly look like they belong in a Care Bears episode? You know, all rainbowed out and glowing like a bad acid trip. And let's just say that topic might be a little polarizing. Today we're breaking down lens polarizers, what they do and when they help, and when they actually might be hurting your dealership's photos more than you think. So let's get into it. Now, before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps us know what content actually moves the needle for you and lets us keep producing free content for dealerships like yours. And as a thank you, here's a picture of Graham Stephan. All right, now let's start simple. What is a polarizer? Now, a polarizer is a circular filter that screws on the front of your lens. Think of it like sunglasses for your camera. And actually, if you've worn polarized sunglasses, you probably already understand how this works. But here's the simple version. Light is bouncing around everywhere, off of paint and glass and water and chrome, and all at different angles. And so a polarizer acts kind of like tiny mini blinds. It blocks certain angles of lights and lets others pass through. So when you rotate the filter, you're essentially kind of choosing which light angles you want to allow in and which ones you kill. And that is where the magic happens. Now, my first experience with this was actually with sunglasses. I remember being at the beach and throwing a pair of polarized sunglasses on, and suddenly the sky looked deep blue and not washed out and not hazy, just a rich blue color. And then the water, instead of seeing the glare, I could actually see through the water, and I felt like I had a superpower. And in photography, this same effect can be incredibly powerful. So naturally you'd think, perfect, let's throw on this for dealership photos and level up everything. And sometimes that's true. So real quick, I'm just gonna show you kind of what that looks like. We have a camera set up here, a photo camera. We're looking onto the hood of this brand new vehicle. We've got shiny glass, shiny paint, and I'm just gonna show you through this lens by hitting record. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate this polarizer. So right now it's on here and it's letting certain angles of light in. And that's kind of what a camera without a polarizer would be looking at. And then as I rotate this polarizer, you're gonna see how it starts cutting out parts of the reflection. And you get it to a certain point, just like that, and we can actually see a lot more, I'm gonna be pointing here, a lot more of the red here in this section, and even through the glass, there's a lot less glare like there was at the beginning. So don't think of it like two ends of a spectrum. It's just like the mini blind example. We're kind of rotating the polarizer and it's letting certain angles of light in, and we just play with it based on the lighting scenario of the scene that we're in. So you can see on the exterior, this is where a polarizer really shines. It cuts out the glare in the paint and it deepens the color. It cleans up those reflections like on the windshield, and it makes the vehicle look richer and the color more true to life. And on a bright day, out if you're shooting outside, that can be a huge win, but this is also where things get interesting. So the moment we start solving one problem, we might actually be creating another one. So let me show you exactly what that means. And we're just gonna go over to one of these lenses. So when I'm talking about lenses, we're talking about headlights and probably mirrors, anything really reflective, but particularly lenses like the headlight here and the fog light down low. So when I look at the lens like so, I'm gonna go ahead and start rotating this polarizer again. Now you can see it's trying to do something, but what I really emphasize here is this right there. You can see it looks like a rainbow. And what happens, honestly, this is a really flat lens, but the more these lenses are curved on a lot of other types of models of vehicles, you're gonna find that rainbowing effect happens even worse. So now we're starting to see it, the rainbow effect. And that's an optical interference of what's actually happening. The polarizer is interacting with materials in the headlight and it's causing this sort of prism-like distortion. So yes, it is reducing glare, but now we have the headlights that looks like a weird science experiment. So not ideal when you're trying to present a clear, accurate picture of the vehicle. So even if you've ever worn a pair of sunglasses in a car with aftermarket tinted windows, you've probably seen the same effect. It kind of gives this weird prism look on the glass itself. So a different application, but really the same effect. Okay, so maybe it's worth it for the exterior. So let's take it to the interior now and see what happens. And you can just see it there. It's like a pink on the side, kind of gets towards a green on the other side. And it's gonna really be doing that on all of these kind of LED, LCD kind of displays. And it's really just because of the plastic and stuff that's on the lenses that cover those screens. It is interacting with the polarizer, and it's again creating that same funhouse weird rainbow prism effect that we saw on the headlights. So then that is really when we hit the real problem, which is for a polarizer on the interior of a vehicle is on the infotainment screen. And in high volume dealership photography, consistency is what wins. So our final thought for us, we don't really recommend polarizers for everyday dealership photo workflows. Not because they're just bad, but because they introduce too many variables into the process that need to be fast, repeatable, and clean. All right, so if you're lucky enough to have a nice photo booth like this one with artificial light, there's probably not as many reasons to even think about using a polarizer because you don't have the downsides of all of the harsh glare that you get outside when shooting in the direct sunlight. But that's just my 2 cents. If you want help identifying where your process is breaking, we have built something for you. It's our 7-step dealership photo audit checklist that walks you through exactly where things go wrong and how to fix them. So click on the link down below, enter your email, and download it today. But hey, we want to hear from you. Are you using a polarizer? And do you think the benefits outweigh these drawbacks we mentioned? Drop it in the comments. We read all of them. Now, thanks for watching. And just remember, just because something looks cool doesn't mean it always converts. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.